It's a beautiful day today, and with COVID-19 very prevalent, and there's talk in the press about whether the ultraviolet light coming from the sun, the rays coming from the sun, are destroying it on surfaces or not. It brought me to think about, I wonder what's happening on the surface of the sun. It's not something that we always look at. It's not something that you would think of looking at really. It's a bright object. So I thought I'd set the telescope up, use some of the special filters I've got, and take some photographs of the surface of the sun and show you those to see if we've got sunspot activity and to see if there's any flares or anything like that taking place today. One thing to bear in mind is we never ever look at the sun with our naked eyes. We certainly don't ever look down a telescope at them or through binoculars at it or anything like that without having filters, proper dedicated filters, to make sure it removes all the harmful rays from the sun. If you look through a telescope or binoculars at the sun without a filter on, it has every potential to blind you. So I'll be showing you the filter that I have on the front of a telescope, and that is to remove all those dangerous rays and so on and so forth. So do not do this at home without making sure you have the correct filter and proper equipment to protect your eyes at all times. This is the control of my telescope, and as you can see at the moment it's on solar rate. So what this is doing, this is using the stepper motors on the telescope mount. So we've got this one here, and there is another one just over there, and those two are directing the telescope to follow the sun at the rate that it moves across the sky. That is the sun through one of the filters that goes on top of the telescope. So here is a still image of the telescope with the filter in place. It just sits on the front of the telescope and allows us to then look through the eyepiece at the sun. And if you look through that particular filter at the sun, you get an image like this. In fact, with the Earth being 93 million miles from the sun, this is actually what the sun looked like 8 minutes ago, because it takes 8 minutes for the light to travel from the sun to us. The sun doesn't have any sunspots. I was hoping that it would, and which is a bit of a shame, but you can see what the sun looks like. I'm now going to show you some images that show the sun in a slight bit more detail, even at this magnification, and then again at a slightly higher magnification. You can see that there absolutely are no sunspots at the moment, but what you can see is the sort of rim of the sun as we can see it, and you can see the movement, the sort of blurriness to that line, and that is the actual physical surface of the sun that we can see using this style of filter. As there are no sunspots visible today, I've downloaded an image from NASA that shows the size of some sunspots, and in the first image you'll see there's one there that's 80,000 kilometers across, and then this image here shows you how large a sunspot can be in comparison to the size of the Earth. So why do we see sunspots? Well, the surface of the sun is about 5,500 degrees centigrade, and a sunspot is about 3,500 degrees centigrade, so significantly cooler. And it's because of this difference in the temperature that we see sunspots against the surface of the sun. They're a much cooler, much darker area. They're not emitting the same wavelengths of light, so they appear as black regions on the surface of the sun. Sadly, we didn't see any sunspots, but you have seen what the sun looks like and what the rim of the sun looks like under just small magnification. Remember, at all times, if you're going to look at the sun, be it with your naked eye or through a telescope or a pair of binoculars or indeed a camera, You must always make sure you have the correct filter to protect your eyes and other people's eyes.